Hey guys, it's Dean. In this video, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about low back tweaks, what they are, what causes them, how to get immediate pain relief, and how to prevent them from happening again. You're going to finish this video with some immediate tools to deal with that pain, and you're also going to move away feeling more confident knowing that this pain can and will eventually go away if you do the right things. If you're new here and you don't want to miss out on future content, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you find it useful. Now, I should probably start this off by telling you that I have had multiple lower back tweaks over the years, starting in 2020 when I had my first child. So I know what it feels like. I know how painful, how uncomfortable, and how energy draining it can be. For probably a year, I could not comfortably reach down, and I had to be extremely careful in any sort of forward fold or reaching over and touching my toes position, which was quite embarrassing as a yoga instructor. But thanks to the exercises and the practices, which I mention in this video for you, I am now able to comfortably do all of the things that I want to do, and I don't have to live with the fear of straining my back every time I crouch down anymore. Now, I do still have episodes from time to time, but I know how to quickly get back to pain-free movement. I know how to fix it, and I'm going to teach you that process exactly, including what not to do and what to do in this video. So let's dive in here. What is a lower back tweak? A lower back tweak is the tightening up or the spasming of the muscles in your lower back. It's actually your body's response to protecting itself from an unfamiliar movement. So if you make a sudden jerky movement, if you overdo it in other exercises, or if you just have improper technique, the lower back tweak is your body's response to that. It's actually meant to protect you from making it worse. Now, at the root of the problem is a lack of core strength, a lack of spinal mobility, or a lack of strength and mobility in the hip muscles that connect to the spine. So our first goal with a lower back tweak is to get the lower back tension to release, to get those muscles to relax. And here are the things that you should absolutely avoid to make sure that it does not get worse. First off, we want to avoid stretching the lower back directly. Now, contrary to popular belief, you will not get rid of that lower back tension by stretching it. That's actually just going to make it worse. You can think of it like an angry spouse. You should probably just wait until later to confront them, right? Don't make it worse. Don't make them more angry. So twist, forward folds, and any deep lower back stretches are the worst things that you can do here. And that means that a yoga flow is an absolute no-go because that includes lots of forward folds. I'm actually going to tell you the exact movements that you should avoid later on in this video, so be sure to stick around. There's a ton of useful stuff in this video. The next thing that we want to avoid is sitting for long periods of time. Now, I know that this is unavoidable in many situations, so the best thing that we can do is break up those sitting periods with either standing periods, going for walks, or finding alternate resting or seated positions that do not cause pain. If you do have to be in a chair, it can help if you can get your feet firmly on the ground and you're sitting upright. The next thing we want to avoid is spending time in pain, so feeling that lower back pain. So we want to get out of that pain. We want to move. If something's causing pain, we want to change the position so we don't feel that pain anymore. And the reason for that is because a lot of a lower back tweak is turning off the body's response to pain or the association of pain in your lower back. The more that we think that the pain is there, the more that it's going to persist. So if you notice that you have pain in the lower back, try and change positions so you don't feel it and stay out of pain as much as you can. Along those same lines, we want to avoid exercise that causes pain. The no pain, no gain mentality definitely does not apply to a healing lower back. We also want to avoid heavy lifting or compound movements like squats or deadlifts until you are pain-free. You should not avoid exercise entirely though. Instead, we want to train around pain. The guidelines that I would say here, if it doesn't hurt while you're doing the exercises, and if it doesn't hurt for 2 days afterwards, then I would say go for it. But if that exercise does cause pain while you're doing it, or if you notice that the pain lingers for more than 2 days after the exercise, then I would avoid doing that exercise again for at least a couple of weeks, maybe even a month before trying it again. The last thing I'll say about this is I would also encourage you to establish a walking habit with this time. The blood flow from walking is going to help with recovery, and walking also provides innumerable stress relief benefits. It helps with sleep. It helps with pretty much every aspect of your health. So use it as an opportunity to just do more walking. The last habit you'll want to avoid while recovering is cold plunging or icing. Now, you've probably heard that cold can help with recovery, and if you've been to physical therapy, you've probably been recommended to use ice to help with pain. Ice is good for immediate pain relief. It's also good for soreness relief, for muscle soreness relief, but it is not good for getting a muscle to relax. Cold is going to cause the muscles to seize up and tighten up even more. And since our main goal is to get rid of the muscle tightness, we definitely don't want to do that. And if you don't like cold plunging, then great. Now you have one more excuse not to do it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use heat though. So that's what I'm going to get into this next section. Now that you know that there are things that you should avoid and that are going to delay your recovery, and you know what those are, now I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be doing to help with the immediate pain relief. And we're going to start with exercises that target the hips and core. The exercises to immediately relieve lower back pain and stiffness from a low back tweak include the following.
First up is dead bug. The most important part of this exercise is keeping your lower back pressed into the ground. If you notice that your back starts to arch or lift off the ground, bring your legs closer in. Do this for at least 60 seconds with an even number of reps on both sides. Bird dog is next. Here you want to make sure that you're keeping your hips squared and you're looking straight down. Keep your hips level with one another and avoid arching your back. Hold for at least 30 seconds per side. Next up is a standing one leg balance. Focus on strong hips and core here and upright posture. If that hurts your lower back, instead keep your hips neutral and bring your heel toward your butt. If you're struggling with balancing, use your toes as a kickstand. Practice this for 1 minute per side. Next up is a modified squat position. Only go as deep as you can without pain in the lower back. Your lower back should be in a neutral position here, so avoid letting your lower back round and your butt tuck under your body. Hold for at least 30 to 60 seconds and build up to that if you can't do that right away. The next exercise is a hollow body hold, and it's the most challenging. Just like dead bug, you want to make sure that your lower back stays glued to the ground. If your lower back does come off the ground, modify by keeping your legs closer in. Practice this for 60 seconds, taking breaks and modifying as needed. Last up is the high lunge or crescent lunge position. Make it strength focused, so you should feel your abs and hips working and not just a passive stretch here. Avoid arching your lower back. Your lower back should be neutral or close to neutral. Hold for at least 30 seconds and 60 seconds if you can.
With these core exercises, if you notice that your core starts to give out and you're no longer using proper form, you want to give yourself a break, because pushing through here with improper technique will likely delay your recovery. Trust me, I've done it many times. Take my advice and don't go through that pain yourself. Now, you can write these exercises down onto a list if you'd like and use those every day or multiple times per day. Or I actually have a follow-along video that goes through this exact routine, the same one that I used daily for weeks and weeks to fix my lower back. And I'm going to give you the link for that later on in this video. Now that we've covered the core focused exercises, I want to show you the hip focused exercises that you can do, including the modifications to help keep your back in a safe position as it heals.
First up is low lunge. This is the big one. The important thing here is to keep your back in a neutral position and stay active through your hips and core, not just a passive stretch. Avoid arching your back and going too far forward. Hold for at least 60 seconds, and you can do it for longer if you have the time. The 90-90 position is a great stretch for the hips, targeting your internal and external hip rotators. Since this takes a lot of mobility, most guys aren't flexible, use a stack of pillows or blocks to elevate your hips to square them forward. You can stay here for minutes at a time, but try to do at least 2 minutes per side. Pigeon is up next. This targets your glutes, the biggest muscles that connect to your lower back, so it's an important one. Try to stay active through your glutes here. Don't be passive. Note that folding forward will probably aggravate your lower back, so stay upright. If you're not flexible enough for this position, modify with a reclined figure 4, but be careful with your back getting into it. And if it hurts, just skip it. Hold for at least 60 seconds and up to 2 or 3 minutes if you've got the time. Next up is a supported hamstring or adductor stretch. These stretches may or may not work for you right now depending on how your back feels, but you can use a lower prop to make it easier. If you're feeling uncomfortable in the low back, you can bend your knee to make this easier. Now, if this is still messing with your lower back, try the adductor stretch instead. Focus on staying upright, as leaning forward will probably aggravate your back. For both these stretches, stay here for at least a minute, and you can do 2 to 3 minutes as long as it's comfortable.
For these hip-focused stretches, longer holds are better. And since you're probably not doing your normal workouts, you should have the time to do them. When I say longer holds, I mean at least 60 seconds and 90 seconds, 120 seconds, even up to 5 minutes is going to be useful. So give those longer holds a shot, and you should notice that those longer stretches will significantly help reducing strain on your lower back. Now, the guiding principle for all of these exercises is to do what you can without pain. You may have to modify the movements to do them a bit differently than you're used to. And mostly that means keeping your spine in a neutral or a slightly extended position. And that will enable you to do these exercises without inflaming your back and making it worse. The really good thing about these exercises exercises, both the core and the hip exercises, as long as you follow the guidelines that I mentioned here, is that they actually relieve pain and provide immediate relief. You can do these exercises multiple times per day, 2, 3, 4 times per day. Personally, I found myself doing these exercises at least twice a day and sometimes 3 times or 4 times per day. And I always felt better when I did. And hopefully you'll have the same experience. So we just covered the main core and hip exercises that you should be doing to help with the immediate lower back pain relief. And you might notice that there are a lot of lower back exercises that I left off of that list. And that was on purpose. But just to make it crystal clear, here are the exact types of exercises you should avoid or practice caution in while you have a lower back tweak. Any exercise or yoga position where you are rounding or flexing your spine. That means if you're reaching down to touch your toes or if you're bending down to pick something up. In yoga, that's going to be forward folds like a wide-legged forward fold, a standing forward fold, a pyramid stretch, a down dog, even a child's pose. And in weightlifting, that means things like squats, deadlifts, a bent over row, anything that isn't keeping you in an upright position and rounding your back instead, that's what you'll want to avoid. The next category of movement we want to avoid is twist. So in yoga, that means no recline twist, no runner's lunge twist, no seated twist. When it comes to other exercises, anything that's going to be moving from side to side, you want to avoid deeper twist or even shallow twist. Our goal with a low back tweak, we have to first reestablish stability and strength. And then later on, once your spine feels more supported, we can introduce movement. So stability first and mobility second. The next movement we want to avoid is a deep back bend. So in yoga, that means things like a standing back bend. It could also mean a cobra, a full locust, an up dog. Basically anything where you're arching the back significantly. Now I will say that some back bends will feel okay if they're very shallow, but if you are just starting out and your lower back tweak was pretty bad right now, I would say avoid any standing back bend or any back bend movement altogether. And then the last movement I have you proceed caution with is a side bend. So a standing side bend or a low lunge with a side bend, basically moving your body from side to side like this. You'll want to make sure that you're not going too deep. And again, focusing on stability first, and then later on, we can introduce mobility. So now that you know the exact practices to avoid, the exact exercises that you should and shouldn't do, let's talk about other practices that you can do to help with speeding up your recovery. Now, before I list these practices out, I just want to say that these are all strategies that I've personally utilized in my own lower back tweak recoveries, and I found them all very helpful. The first practice, and maybe the most important, is heat therapy. So this includes things like a sauna, a heated blanket, or a heating pad, or even a jacuzzi. This is actually one of the best things that you can do because heat helps the muscles to relax. And that's exactly what we want to do with fixing a lower back tweak. We need to get those muscles to relax. It also helps with improving circulation to the area and blood flow, which helps with recovery and repair. And maybe most importantly, it helps with immediate pain relief. The second thing we want to make sure we do is pain-free exercise and movement. Now, I mentioned earlier on in this video that you should train around pain rather than avoiding exercise altogether. And that's because the more that you move, the more blood flow that you're going to get through the body. And this is critical for speeding up your recovery. Just make sure that it's not hurting, or at least it's hurting less than when you stay still. The next strategy you'll want to utilize is finding pain-free resting positions. Again, we want to get out of pain as much as possible. So you might find yourself lying on your back, lying on your chest. Instead of being in a seated chair position, you could do a seated 90-90 position. Maybe you can hang out in a lunge. So we're trying to do different resting positions that don't cause pain. If you do have to be in a chair, which most of us will at some point during the day, then just make sure that you have good back support and that you can plant your heels firmly on the ground. You can also place a pillow behind your back if you need help. Next strategy is using NSAIDs or anti-inflammatories. And this is on here because part of getting rid of pain is being able to not think about pain. So if you brace your back every time you move because you think it's going to cause pain, that is going to delay your recovery because you are tensing up your back every time you brace it. So for that reason, NSAIDs could be a very useful practice to include because they help to reduce pain association in the area. Now, I have to say I'm not a doctor at this point because legal reasons. I personally utilize NSAIDs for a few weeks just to help with turning off that pain association, and I would recommend the same for you if you find that to be an intriguing option. The last practice that you'll want to do here are just all the normal good things. So we want to prioritize recovery factors like stress management, nutrition, and sleep. These are all the things that we need to do to live a healthier lifestyle, and they become even more important when you're injured. Because if you're not managing your stress, if you're not sleeping well, that means that you're not going to recover as well. So during this period, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and while you're not doing the workouts that you're used to, it's a great opportunity for you to use that energy and use that time to improve in these other crucial areas of well-being instead. So now you've got all my best tips on how to deal with a low back tweak immediately. You know all the exercises that you should and shouldn't do, as well as the practices that you should and shouldn't do. So let's move on and talk about the long-term solution. Our long-term solution for getting rid of low back tweaks at the source is strengthening the areas and improving mobility in the areas that support the spine. So from the exercise perspective, we need to strengthen your hips, we need to strengthen your core, and we need to increase mobility in your spine and your hips. That includes all those exercises that I showed you earlier in this video, and ideally a progression of those exercises to help you continue to get stronger and more mobile. One really important thing that you want to keep in mind is that you don't want to just get back to where you were when the injury occurred. You need to get stronger than that. Otherwise, that low back tweak will likely happen again. So if you can find time for just 10 to 15 minutes of the appropriate exercises, things like what I showed you here, 3 times per week, you can address the causes of a low back tweak at the source, and you can greatly reduce your risk of it happening again. So at this point, you know the types of exercises you should and shouldn't do, the practices that you should and shouldn't do, and you understand that you need to work on your core strength, your spinal mobility, and your hips as the long-term solution. By the way, if this video has helped you so far, please leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, or leave a comment if you still have questions or you just want to share something that you appreciated about this video. This first routine is right here on the YouTube channel, so you can check it out right now. But I also want to tell you that I have a whole program for this in my members area and app, in the Manful Yoga members area and app. So if you want to go beyond immediate pain relief and fix the problem at the source, there's a link in the description below to sign up for a free 7-day trial and get access to that program. But first, let's get to that immediate pain relief. Click below to go to my immediate pain relief workout for a low back tweak routine. And in just 10 minutes, you are going to feel noticeably less pain, stiffness, and discomfort in your back. Do it daily for best results. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment if you have a question or some feedback, and I'll see you guys on the next video soon.